And in this cauldron, she started collecting all these herbs and putting them in this big cauldron and stirring it. She knew she had to boil this magic formula for a year and a day. And then 3 drops of wisdom would emerge from this pot, and she would give these 3 drops of wisdom to her son Avagdo. And Avagdo will be the wisest man on earth. He will be the greatest poet, and he would, being the greatest poet in those days, that meant he was going to mingle with kings, queens, princesses, duchess, you name them all. He was going to mingle with those. He was going to mingle with royalty. He was going to mingle with royalty. Royalty, yes. So there she was stirring this potion. It had to be boiled day and night for a year and a day. So there she was stirring this magic potion. And passing by was a young man named Guyon Bach and an old blind man named Moda. The witch stopped what she was doing, looked at the two.
Guess who's passing by? Guyon and Moda. You have come to the right place at the right time in the right quantity. 1, 2, just what I need, and you're going nowhere. I got a job for you. You, Guyon, you are going to steal my portion for a year and a day and night. And you, Moda, you're going to earn firewood. You hear me? If any of you thinks of doing any funny tricks, running away or anything,
the two feared the witch. Immediately they got to work. Guyon stirring the potion, Moda eating firewood. Soon they worked hard and hard. Days grew into weeks, weeks into months, and a year passed. And on the day, a year and a day, on the day, Guyon was stirring the potion. Instantly, the 3 drops of wisdom emerged from the pot. They were so hot, they landed on Guyon's finger while he was stirring. And being so hot, he licked his fingers because it was so hot. And he swallowed those 3 drops of wisdom. The 3 drops of wisdom that the witch had been waiting for a year and a day to give to her son to become what? To become a poet! Exactly, to become a poet. The moment Guyon swallowed these 3 drops of wisdom, immediately he could foresee the future. He could see the witch carrying Gwen coming, chasing him and killing him. That very moment, he got up and started to run. He ran towards the field. And that was the time the witch came to see what was going on. Immediately she knew that the 3 drops of wisdom had been stolen. And she looked, she knew Guyon was gone, and he must be the culprit who stole her 3 drops of wisdom. The witch looked around, saw him running in the field, running away, and she gave chase. Now this witch could go. She could run. Clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop. Let's go, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity. As fast as we can. Let's all go. Clippity clop, 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 clippity clop. And the witch was catching on. Faster and faster she was going, moving towards Guyon. Even though he was running, it looked like he was on standstill. And the minute the witch was so close, Guyon wished, I wish I was a hare. And immediately he turned into a hare. And faster he went. But behind him, the witch turned herself into a greyhound and continued to chase. And it was getting closer and closer and closer. And Guyon was going towards the river. By the time he got to the river, he wished, oh, I wish I was a fish. And he became a fish, dived in, and swam downstream. The witch also dived in and became an otter and chased him. And the moment she was about to catch him, Guion wished, I wish I was a bird. Immediately became a bird, soared high up in the sky and started to fly away. The witch was not to be outdone. The witch immediately turned herself into a hawk and continued to give chase. She was getting closer and closer and closer to Guion. And Guion, right underneath him, he saw a farmyard. In that farmyard, an open barn, and in that open barn, he could see a heap of wheat grains. He dived right into the heap of wheat grains, right into the very center, and he wished, I wish I was one of these wheat grains. And he became one of those wheat grains. And the witch came, landed on this heap of wheat grains, and she changed herself into a hen, a speckled hen. And she started to eat those wheat grains, the millions and millions of wheat grains. She ate and ate. She ate and ate and ate until the whole heap of wheat grains was gone. She had eaten everything, including the grain that Guion had become. One thing. So she ate a lot. If I say, ha, ha, hey, hey, I want you to also respond. Because in Africa, when we tell stories, it's a call and response. So if I go, ha, ha, hey, hey, you go, ha, ha, hey, hey, kind of flow, yeah? Ha, ha, hey, hey. Ha, ha, hey, hey. Ha, ha, hey, hey. Ha, ha, hey, hey. That through eating so much, the witch became pregnant. And it is also said that 9 months later, she gave birth to a baby boy. The baby was so beautiful. Immediately when she looked at this baby boy, the witch could see that this was Guion. Guion had stolen her 3 drops of wisdom. The witch decided, what should I do? Should I kill the baby? What should I do? But she wanted to kill the baby, but the witch couldn't get the courage to kill the baby. So the witch carried away, took the baby. She took the baby in a cradle, wrapped in a blanket. She took the baby to the sea, pushed him onto the outgoing tide, and the baby was carried away by the tide. First row, stand up. Now, there were big waves and small waves. Now let's make waves. Big waves. And the baby sailed through those big waves, small waves. And the baby sailed across through those small, gentle waves. The cradle went and went and went and went. And we can sit down. And meanwhile, in another part of Wales, present-day Cardigan Bay, happening to walk by the seashore, was Prince Elfin, the son of King Gwydno. Prince Elfin saw a cradle at the seashore. He approached it. In that cradle, he could see a baby. He picked the baby up. The baby, his hair curled against his face. His eyes, sea green eyes. the baby had a bright brow. Prince Elfin looked at the baby and said, "Wow, bright brow! Taliesin, bright brow! I'll call you Taliesin," meaning bright brow. Immediately, he said those words. The little baby boy looked at him, smiled, and Prince Elfin was won by that beautiful smile from that baby. "I'll take you home with me," he said. And then the baby boy, looked at him and started to speak. "Elfin, son of Gwithno, today is your lucky day. Finding me is the luckiest thing you have ever done. I'll make you the richest man in all of Wales." He was shocked. He ran home to his father, the king. He said, "Father, see what I got? I got a baby. And he's not just a baby. He is special." The king looked at the little baby boy and said, "Give it to me." He took the little baby boy, said, "Hey, my son says you're special." Huh? "Baby, you're special." The baby looked at the king and said, "Oh yes, I am. I am special. And tell you what, King Gwithno, I'm going to make your son Elfin the richest man in all of Wales." The king was shocked. And it is said that from that day on, Elfin and his wife looked after this baby boy. And in the king's courtyard, as the baby boy grew to be a big boy, he would go in front of the king and all the courtiers in the king's courtyard. He would recite verses and make up, he would do some music and make up verses as he went along. And the king and all his men would be clapping and cheering and saying, "We have never, ever in our lives come across such a great poet." And that is how Taliesin, the greatest poet in all of Wales, came to be. So when you hear the story of Taliesin, think to this day, I told you the story. Thank you so very much, all of you.
Okay.